Dad, you got a letter from the city of New York.
Peh, throw it away. Nothing good has ever come out of New York City. I don't want to go to New York City.
Why not?
New York is a hellhole.
Oh, I'd love to see New York. We could all go with the bus company's special Super Sitter fare.
$9? This one's on me. Great! We're all going to New York.
Lousy Bart, this is money. All right, New York. I'm coming back.
Wake up, everyone. We're almost there. Look, it's ZZ Top. You guys rock.
Maybe a little.
Look, it's ZZ Top. You guys rock.
Maybe a little.
Your vehicle is illegally parked at One World Trade Plaza.
Ooh.
Wow, Governor's Island looks so insignificant from up here.
Stupid city. What the hell is this thing? Come off! Come off! All right, you. Oh.
Hey, when you're done with that, I got something up here you can bite on. Hey, when you're done with that, I got something up here you can bite on.
And why don't you be polite, you stinking puss bag? Pal, you gotta call that number on a booth. Sorry about that, guy. They stick all the jerks in Tower 1.
That's it. I'm coming over there.
Yeah, why don't you come over
Believe
here?
me,
I
I'm
got
coming
something for
over
you.
there, big Shut up, the both of you.
Wow, the future is here.
Closer.
Notice she says the future is here. Yes, predictive programming, communication. The future is here. The future resides within this episode. Like, yo, this world, man, this world is so much of a stage. It's not even funny. And this right here representing this form of being trapped, struggle, which is an allusion to what took place on that day.
Almost there.
Ow! Men's room in tower. Tower. Observation deck.
Bart, no fireworks. Put that back. You're the boss.
Come on, man. Come on. Why did they show or highlight the fireworks? Why did they do that? Come on, people. Come on. There's a reason why they highlighted the fireworks. Explosives. Bombs. Come on, man. Come on. We're gonna get into all of it.
Chinese Boswell! Serious this time!
Oh, Flushing Meadows. Oh, shit! Oh no, it's getting dark. Well, that's it. I'm getting out of this town alive if it kills me.
I'm getting out of this town alive if it kills me. I'm getting out of this town alive even if it kills me. Come on, man. And then, you know, him going into the tower to use the bathroom where it says out of order, use the next tower. That was an allusion to one of the towers getting hit first, which was Tower 1. And then Tower 2 got hit second. That's what that was an allusion to. They set all of this stuff up, man.
Beautiful in its own way. I'm
checking in. He's checking in. I'm checking in.
When I grow up, I want to be in the Betty Ford Center.
You better start saving now. It's very expensive. Shh.
Just a minute. Everything's under control. Yes, I'd be upset too.
My God, that maniac is heading straight for us. My God, that maniac is heading straight for us.
Hey, it's Dad. Right on time.
We're getting out of here. Now, jump in, Marge. Trust me. Throw the kids. No time for the baby.
We're not jumping, Homer. We're not jumping, Homer. We're not
So many illusions. That maniac is headed straight for us. Also, going back to the bathroom thing where it says out of order, that's an allusion to what? Order out of chaos, because that is what the mechanism was with 9/11. It was based in order out of chaos. Pretty much the Hegelian dialectic. And, you know, it's just so much stuff with this episode that tells you what was going to take place on 9/11. Now, it's crazy because I'm sure there was a few people in those towers that actually saw this episode, but just couldn't put two and two together, because you can't blame somebody for not being able to deduce this. I mean, you know, you're in real time in that moment just watching TV. You don't know that this is an allusion to something, because you actually think that, you know, the world is a good place and is safe, and you know, people don't lie, and your government is trustworthy and all this stuff. And even if you didn't think that, even if you was, you know, someone who was suspicious about this world, it's still hard to come to certain conclusions based off of what you're seeing in real time. It's like, it's so hard. So like you see this in 97, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to think, oh, something is coming to the Twin Towers, unless you really have some sort of like crazy spiritual insight to where you can just, you know, break that fourth wall. And even if you could break that fourth wall, it is still hard to like really deduce that, you know, this was imminent, that this was supposed to come. In hindsight, you know, it's easy for us to understand the predictive programming element of things. And with that in mind, maybe it's more of a chance for certain people to come to better conclusions based off of knowing that, okay, predictive programming is a thing. So if you see something, you should be able to put two and two together a little bit better than as if you didn't know it was a thing. You know what I mean? So I guess that's the benefit of knowledge. That's the benefit of knowing these things.
Marge, trust me. Throw the kids. No time for the baby.
We're not jumping, Homer. We're not jumping, Homer.
We're not jumping, Homer. Mind you, 2 vehicles. They know what they was doing with this episode. They knew that it would be a catastrophe so bad that certain people would be forced to jump out of those towers, or forced to fall, forced based off of, you know, how strong the smoke was, how crazy the event was. I can only imagine what those people was going through, man. It's so sad, but this just lets you know that we live in a sinister world that's based in deception and lies. Isn't it ironic that on the day that this occurs, you know, in regards to what took place with the Twin Towers going down, that this guy, the president at the time, George Bush, was in a classroom with kids reading about goats, reading about pet goats. And the lesson that they were teaching, as far as the teacher just going over certain words for the classroom to repeat, the words were plane must hit steel. Plane must hit steel. Obviously, it's not in this video because it's taken out of the majority of these videos, like of the majority of this particular video here. You have to really dig in the crates to find the actual video that's not edited. But yes, the teacher was telling the kids, plane must hit steel. We live in a stage. I'm going to keep on reiterating that because it's just the truth. It's eerie, but at the same time, it should let you know that there are 2 sides. There is a good side and there is a bad side. And we just must stay on the good side, the righteous side, the Most High side. And our awareness helps us understand, you know, what the vibration is of this world, because they control these things. They the one that tell you these things in regards to the cover up. They tell you, oh, you know, 9/11, 2001, the most tragic day in the history of America, so on and so forth. But the things they don't tell you is that this was foregone. This was a foreseen thing. This was coming. They don't tell you about what it represents esoterically, which is what they uphold. They don't tell you about, what it represents, on a Luciferian scale, on a Masonic scale. They don't tell you these things that mean so much to them. On the surface, it's, oh my God, it's a tragedy. They killed all those people. But you knew this. You knew this. You're George Bush. You're a bigwig. You're in the upper levels. You knew this was coming just based off of, these TV shows and these movies and other aspects of predictive programming that obviously the bigwigs, the big time upper level people, politicians, presidents, even celebrities, they know that this was going to happen. They know that. When you sign that contract, you sign yourself over to Lucifer, you have all of the access to certain things that's planned out before it happens. Even Corona. They knew about all these things. All these things. So never look at these things and just be fooled by it. Like as far as just, on your regular looking at TV and you watch George Bush in the classroom and he's told that the towers, got hit. He knew that. He knew it was going to happen. He got memos. But at the same time, it's like they like to cover all these things up. Even the Al-Qaeda thing, they cover all these things up. You telling me that there was 19 hijackers, throughout that day from all those planes, Flight 93 and Flight 75, I think it was 757 or something like that, Flight 11. And don't get me started on the 11 thing. We already went over that. Flight 11, American Airlines AA, it hits the Twin Towers, which represents 11. Like, come on. This is not, people have to wake up, and I'm sure you guys are. But it's just mind-boggling how much of it it's too perfect. This is a stage. This is a stage. And then mind you, the pet goat. We know that the Baphomet is the god of this world. There's so much nefarious shit about this, man. And it's crazy that thousands of people got affected by this. Whether alive or dead, thousands of people got affected by this. Even myself, I was in New York City. I was blocks away. I was in school. This was early in the morning. It doesn't hit you because you're a kid. You don't really understand the profundity of it. But at the same time, it's like, wow, damn, like terrorist attack. And then as you get older, you really start to understand the nefarious aspects of your government in this world and things that you thought about it that's not true. And then you really understand the sinister aspect about these people that's boule and they're occultic and they, the Bohemian Grove, all these different presidents, all these different politicians, they're all Luciferians. They knew that this was going to happen. It's just that they have to put on a front for the public because the public is sheep. Useless eaters is what they refer to us as. So please, please, please maintain awareness. Never just look at the things that's just fed to you and what they want. Like this is the official story of it. The official story is always the bullshit story. It's always 9 times out of 10 the bullshit story. The public official story is always the bullshit story. It's so much holes just from the explosives, from people, firemen saying that they heard and saw explosives. They heard and saw it. They're telling you they saw particles in the building. Explosive particles were in the building. And you can tell that they were in the building based off of how the damn buildings came down. It's no way that was just some regular shit. The buildings would have tipped over. It would have blew up outward. That was controlled demolition. So controlled demolition suggests that this was an inside job. Well, the inside job suggests that it wasn't a terrorist attack. Now, PBS and all these control programs is going to give you the bullshit story about pancaking. Saying that the towers pancake because of the level of the intense fires. But historically, there's never been a tower or a building falling because of fire. So, like, why don't you explain that? Why don't you explain the core? The core was not supposed to fall because the core is supposed to be put in place based off of the strength of the steel. So the core fell because it was bombs in the towers. Bombs are strong enough to, pretty much destruct anything. Steel is strong enough when it comes to the heat and the thermatic reaction to melt the steel, so on and so forth. So that's what took place just when it comes to the towers. The pancake theory is all bullshit. They always want to give you bullshit when it comes to these things. It toppled over based off of the spherical elements in which, you saw that because of the explosives in the building. You saw like this spherical clouds of fire that came from the bombs in the building. You had like targets or chargers of the thermatic material in the building.
Once the trusses fail, the floors they were holding cascade down with a force too great to be withstood. The result is what's called a progressive collapse, as each floor pancakes down onto the one below.
The intense fire, more than the impact, caused the towers to collapse. The intense fires came from the energetic reaction from nanothermite. The nanothermite is what caused the molten steel. And it pretty much intensified the fires, and someone detonated the buildings. It was controlled demolition. That's what it was. Simple as that. And it's not no conspiracy theory. It's easy to tell that that was controlled demolition. And like I continue to keep saying, they tell you without telling you. It also says that it melted the structural steel. You see, the thing with that is, we understand that steel melts around 2,000 degrees, 2,750 degrees. And it's reported that in the towers, the temperatures were around 500 to like 1,100 degrees, they were saying. So even with that, that's not enough to melt steel. The jet fuel wasn't enough. So what really melted the steel? You see images of molten steel, letting you know that it was thermite. It was nanothermite. That's what that was. Introduced in 2000. Meant to, detonate. Come on, man. That's why you saw them little, light particles coming down the towers. That was the nanothermite. And then you see an image like this. This image right here was created in June of 2001. 6/2001. And we already know the tragic event happened in 9/2001. 6 and 9 interchangeable. This was all ritualistic. And also you see this image of what this group here is representing. This represents detonation. He's holding what looks to be like a detonator, but it's reported that it's a music tuner, but it's supposed to be a detonator. That's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to represent that, because Hollywood know what they do. They know what they're doing. I hate when they report these things as if it's like people can't put two and two together. Like, they play on the intelligence of the people. If you see an image like this, right, and you do research on it, and you learn that this image was created in June 2001, what the fuck does that tell you about what really happened on 9/11? And then you see it. You see the image. You see the towers. Shouldn't that tell you something about the world that you live in? This is here. This is out there. You have images of this. The Simpsons, all these different things. Shouldn't you contextualize and say, wow, like, okay, what's really going on here? We cannot look at these things in an isolated way where we just approach it alone. No, we have to put it together with all the nefarious things that they do to give you a bigger picture of what's really afoot, what's really going on in this deceptive world. Look at this image. This is from a group called Coop, a group I never heard of. You never heard of these guys after this, or this. I don't know if that's a female or a male. It looks to be a male right there holding what looks to be drumsticks. But this is letting you know, like, come on. What more can you glean from this? It's obvious that this form of predictive programming. I don't even like to call it predictive programming. It's more so foregone programming. Obviously, that's the term that's used according to the CIA, because it's something that's as of record, public record, is a fact. Just when it comes to these things that's associated with the CIA in regards to mind control program and so on and so forth, predictive programming is big in the entertainment industry. And when you understand predictive programming, it should tell you a lot about the world that you live in. It's more so foregone programming. It's so much of it in this world. This is why it's important for us to stick with knowledge, wisdom. Because it's like confirmation. Obviously, the people in power, they're gonna tell you that, it's not documented that these things have been reported to have anything to do with detonation. Just when it comes to like nanothermite, like you'll see certain research, articles on it. But if you ask it in like an AI form, you ask AI about nanothermite, it'll tell you about it, but it will suggest that you're trying to hint at it being about the Twin Towers, because it'll have something like, well, this has no documented any association with any sort of controlled demolition, even though we know that that's bullshit. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's how you know that AI and all this shit is really generated with bias. Even though you learn a lot of things on it, it gives you some truth or what have you. Like, you can really learn a lot. It's more of an extensive Google, but at the same time, it still has its bias just when it comes to who's controlling it. But at the end of the day, we already know what it was. That was controlled demolition. And this right here is an indicator. This right here lets you know. This lets you know. All of that, the TV shows and the movies and all those symbols that alluded to it lets you know. I don't give a fuck what type of video that you come across where they try to debunk it and say that you're a conspiracy theorist or you're crazy. No. Stop. You people are bought and paid for. Whoever you people are that try to like come at people who can actually prove that, yes, it was controlled demolition, and it's so much. It's like you're trying to play on the intelligence of people when you say that it wasn't, because it's obvious that that's what it was. Especially with Building 7. I mean, come on. It's crazy. Now, this right here is from the towers. Why do you have this like yellowish type of burning color where it looks like some sort of like thematic type of energy, some sort of thematic reaction? Burning of steel. Steel burns at 2,700 degrees, about 2,750 degrees, as I keep repeating because it's important for us to emphasize the truth. This is molten steel coming from thermite reactions. That's where it comes from. NIST, the National Institute for Science and Technology, they tell you bullshit. Just like the 9/11 Commission's report tell you bullshit. You got to ask yourself, why does your government lie to you? And not just your government, just when it comes to the people at large, the people in power. Why do they lie to us? Why do they constantly lie? Why do they constantly cover things up? Why is so much of these things nefarious? Why is so much of this stuff based off of certain strong belief systems in which, they uphold when it comes to the occult, when it comes to the pagan aspect, just when it comes to the left hand? Why is it? Well, I know why it is. I ask these questions rhetorical, but you got to just really, really use that to remind yourself what type of world you really live in. Because they constantly lie. They have to lie on this, and they have to lie with this story, lie with that story, lie with this story, lie with that story. All these lies have to connect. They have to constantly lie. It's not even like overt lying. It could just be something where, like, for instance, like the one of the assistants or one of the guys going into the classroom telling George Bush about what happened to the towers, even though he know that was going to happen. And on his face, it's like, oh, he has a somber look. He's sad. Da, da, da. No, that's what they have to push. That's what they have to convey. It's all lies. They lie to you. Oh my God, there's 19 hijackers. They hijack all the planes on that day. It's all lies. And you really got to consider all these things just when it comes to, technology. Like in 1944, the technology really was advanced. So imagine the type of technology in 2000. In 1944, there's this operation called Operation Aphrodite. And it's about pretty much drone, aircrafts. We're going to go more into that, but just understand, man. it's never out of the realm of possibility when it comes to certain aspects of what we believe to be bullshit. Just when it comes to like the technology that was used in the early 2000s or the 1990s or what have you. Like, these people in power have advanced technology. This is why things come to the fore. This stuff be at play already. It's just that they test it. It was convenient that the nanothermic properties, or nanothermite in general was introduced around the time before the Twin Towers. And it's also funny that, forensic scientists and firefighters happen to see certain nanothermic properties or iron. So it's like one of those things that you put yourself in this truthful box, and you got to stay in that box because that's the box that's telling you what it is. I don't care if people are attacking that box and writing on the box, conspiracy theory box, it don't matter. Live in the truth, because that's the thing that breaks you free from this unison of simplicity, this unison of people who have this group think mind. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna get out of that, and you're gonna be persona non grata, but that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, man. Building number 7 wasn't in the official 9/11 commission report. They did not even explain why that building came down. Shouldn't that tell you about the lies about this world, man? Shouldn't that tell you about the nefarious, deceptive aspect of the world that you are living in? Like, come on. And like I constantly keep saying, just the fact that you have these predictive elements to it, shouldn't that tell you more? And then think about it. Like, we have predictive programming. It's a thing. We prove it. The reason why I'm going so hard like this is just to make the point that we live in lies of a world. We live in a nefarious world. We do not live in a truthful world. Your government don't tell you the truth. These presidents don't tell you the truth. I don't care how much you love them or how much bias you have for them. They are all not for you. They lie. They have to lie. They constantly lie. They have no other, there's no other recourse. What they do is lie. They have to. They have to. You cannot trust none of these people. Always trust what you understand based off of seeing the forest through the trees, because 9 times out of 10, that's what the truth is. All this Bin Laden, all that shit is bullshit. I'm not saying that those people have nothing to do with it, but I'm saying there's more than meets the eye when it comes to these alignments and, agreements. Behind the scenes, I'm sure it's been agreed upon, And then they catch Bin Laden on 2011, and we already went through the 11 stuff and how these things come together. It's no coincidence. That right there helps you understand the lies of it in terms of like how these things come together on certain dates. Like, hey, isn't it a coincidence? Like, asking yourself, 2001, the Twin Towers, each of these stores have 110 stories, 110 floors, and you understand the 11 aspect of it that's like pervasive in it. Shouldn't that tell you that, okay, what's going on really? You feel what I'm saying? That's why I always harp on this, because when you understand these things, it gives you a better understanding of what world this is, as opposed to just, okay, this is what I'm understanding, and that's that. This is why I always talk about how we should not approach these things in an isolated way where it's just this alone. This gives you a more added understanding of the world that you live in, because it's not just this. Obviously, we understand that other elements of history and what took place, and most of it is based in lies as opposed to what they tell you. They always tell you the front story, and the front story is always bullshit. It's always bullshit. Always. From Corona, from fucking all these different viruses that they push, all the foods we eat, is all bullshit. Please understand that we do not live in a righteous society. We don't live in a society that's based in, integrity and truth. You have different safe havens for it, but for the most part, it's not here. I know I'm going hard, but let's go by this step by step. The basic concept in regards to controlled demolition. Structural analysis. Engineers figure out which columns, beams, or supports need to be removed so the building will collapse inward instead of tipping over. Step 2, explosive placement. So these are like the charges. And this is what I believe was placed throughout, you know, those towers. Small explosive charges, not huge bombs, are attached directly to those supports, often after workers cut away outer material to expose the steel or concrete. And this is what I believe occurred. And also when it comes to the steel and the concrete, especially with the steel, you see melted steel, you see the molten steel. Certain people saying where they saw those lights, it looked like it was staged, like as far as like how the particles of the lights were like shining. It looked kind of weird, but that right there letting you know that it was nanothermic. It was nanothermic, and the energy reaction from it lets you know that just based off of the science behind that. Like, I'm not a big expert on it, but I know the basic understanding, you know? The explosives are connected to electronic detonators and wired to a central firing system, a firing console. Same thing that you see on that image for Coop's album cover. It's supposed to be a quote unquote music tuner. No, that's a firing console. That's them. Like I said, that is them letting you know that this was controlled demolition. The underlying conveyance represents predictive programming and is confirmed. It's just that certain people, they look at that and they're just whatever. Even though it's like blatant. I mean, you see the towers blown up behind them as they're using what looks to be a detonator. Please understand what world you're living in. Larry Silverstein, who once owned the towers, who I believe is a Zionist. He's a quote unquote Jew who's into Jewish mysticism, but also a Zionist. He was someone who pretty much took out an insurance policy, a terrorist insurance policy, 2 months before the attacks, or 2 months before the event. I'm not even gonna say attacks. It's more so events. And you could say attack because the government attacked itself. That's what I believe. Using those 19 hijackers. That's all bullshit. But Larry Silverstein took out an insurance policy 2 months before what took place. And he was able to get compensated double what he already had. Just interesting stuff there. And this is him on, you know, the coming down of the building, of Building 7. This is him on how the building came down or why the building came down. I remember getting a call from a fire department commander telling me that they were not sure they could contain the fire. And I said, you know, we've had such terrible loss of life. Maybe the smartest thing to do is pull it. And they made that decision to pull, and we watched the building collapse. Now you have these terms that's associated with controlled demolition. It's pull, squeeze, blast, and I forget the other one, but I know it's pull, squeeze, blast, and I believe it's I forget the last one. But pull just basically means to bring it down. That's what pull means. And over the years, they've been telling you that, oh, you know, it's about the firemen. He was talking about the firemen. No, how can you be talking about the firemen if the firemen wasn't even in the damn building? This is what I'm talking about how they lie. They always lying. They always lying, bro. Sometimes they lie so much that certain lies, you know, it comes to being exposed. They was not in the building. So what are you talking about? It's obvious that you were using a term that's associated with controlled demolition because it was the Zionists that did this. It was the Zionists that did this. The CIA and the Israeli Mossad. Come on, man. The line is one of the most cited pieces of evidence by people who believe World Trade Center 7 was a controlled demolition. It definitely was. I mean, you look at the building and you look at a controlled demolition. It's the same exact thing. All of them buildings that fell down fell the same way. And never in life has a building ever fell down that was on fire. So what does that tell you? There's nothing around that. There's nothing around that. Larry Silverstein is a goddamn devil. That's what the hell he is. And he knew that those people in those buildings were going to get killed. The majority of those people. It's ridiculous, man. Don't trust these people. They're wicked. They're more wicked than you know, man, for real. These presidents and these politicians, they're more wicked than you could understand. Like, for real. And then you have the 9/11 Commission report where Building 7 wasn't even in it. Then you have findings about particles associated with explosives. Some of them were thrown away, and some of them were found, like certain chips, nanothermic chips. Come on. Come on, man.